Hi, I'm Abby Ballman, and this is my presentation over differentiated instruction. Differentiated instruction means tailoring instruction to meet individual needs. Teachers differentiate content, process, products, or the learning environment. Differentiation consists of the efforts of teachers to respond to a variety of learners in the classroom. So how do teachers differentiate instructions? Teachers can differentiate at least 4 classroom elements. These include content, process, products, and learning environment. Differentiating content are things such as using reading materials at a varying readability levels, using spelling or vocabulary lists at readiness levels, maybe having different reading buddies during class, or meeting with small groups to reteach an idea or skill to struggling learners. Differentiating process includes developing personal agendas, which are tasks lists written by the teacher that contain both in-classroom work for the whole class and work that addresses individual needs for the learners. This can be completed either during a specified agenda time or as students complete their work early throughout the week or the day. Also, offering manipulatives or other hands-on activities help support students who need them. Differentiating products can include giving students options of how to express their required learning. This can be through a puppet show, writing a letter, writing a story, or creating a film. Also, allowing students to work alone or in small groups on their products can help differentiate products. Lastly, differentiating the learning environment. This can include making sure there are places in the room to work quietly and without distraction, such as like a reading corner, a homework corner, as well as places that invite student collaboration. That can be a circle time rug or different group corners or group tables in the classroom. Also, providing materials that reflect a variety of cultures and home settings can help differentiate the learning environment. And lastly, helping students understand that some learners need to move to learn. They need to move through song, through dance, or just need to move some part of their body to be able to learn, while others do better sitting quietly and just working on their own. So how do teachers prepare their students and their classrooms for differentiated instruction? Most importantly, get to know your students. You can get to know your students' readiness, which refers to a student's knowledge and skill level regarding given consent if you're asking for test scores. This can be determined by examining the results of formal or informal tests, like I said before, or asking students to complete a KWL chart. This chart is also known as a know, want to know, and what I learned chart. Getting to know your students' interests, different skills or activities that pique their students' curiosity or inspire them. Teachers can discover their students' interests by determining what topics they enjoy or which activities they engage in outside of class. Discussing their interests, maybe having them write a journal about themselves, or having icebreaker activities in the classroom can help get to know your students' interests. And lastly, get to know your student's learning profile. This refers to a student's preferred method of learning new information or skills or environmental factors that influence a student's learning. This can include if they learn better reading with PowerPoints, if they learn better listening to lectures, if they learn better doing hands-on notes, hands-on activities, how they react to white noise in the classroom, how they react to music while they work, are all different ways that can make up a learning profile. Students can assess a student's preferred method of learning by administrating a questionnaire or even observing the student during class. So what does differentiated instruction look like in the classroom? Differentiated instruction looks different in every classroom, depending on how long the teacher has been doing it and how well the students are reacting to it. Not just one method is the correct method. These classrooms include different learning techniques and collaborations with the students, and each student could be engaged in what they are learning, or they may just be getting used to the differentiated instructions and just need time to get used to this different classroom setting. Lastly, all of these examples are non-examples of differentiated instructions, but why is that? So the first teacher delivers instruction primarily by lecturing. Well, the teacher is not considering the learning styles of their students. Those who may be auditory learners will do just fine in a lecture, while the kinesthetic learners could fall behind. The teacher should consider maybe doing hands-on projects or group work to further see how each of their students learn and to see maybe if their grades go up and if their students improve on their homework. The second teacher groups students at the beginning of the year based on the previous year's achievement test scores. Well, grouping students based on the previous year's test scores proves nothing on how these students learn and collaborate. Just because their test scores were the same does not mean they learn the same. The teacher could instead do a trial run of different groups and pairs to truly see how each student learns, and then in the future, make different groups depending on their readiness levels. Lastly, the last teacher gives bonus points for classroom participation. Giving bonus points for classroom participation leaves out those who may fall behind in class discussions, or they just work better on their own and would rather not talk in front of the class. The teacher could just not give bonus points at all and honestly just grade the work of the students based on the content and how they learned in class. Thanks for listening.